Hi everyone, so here in Education Land we are used to coping with change and a ton of information that comes to us from a ton of different sources at a ton of different times, and it all becomes a bit overwhelming. So I'm going to share with you my strategy for coping with information overwhelm. Right, my strategy involves 3 steps, well 4 steps, but the last 2 kind of go together. So the first step is about mapping out. The second step is gathering, and the third and fourth steps are reorganizing and editing. So it does take a bit of time, but at the end of it, you know this stuff so well and you have a really good document that you will use all the time. Trust me, it works. It will help you sleep at night. So the first step is mapping out. So what I mean by that is, taking some screenshots and making kind of a mind map of all of the different things. So for example, things, information, sites. So here I've taken a little screenshot of and put in a hyperlink, and that's actually to my webpage that has all of the different sites that we Kiwi teachers often need. So that's just to remind me that it's there, and also if I'm using it as a digital document, and I can just click on it. But most importantly, I've mapped out things like, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4 our achievement standards, and then I've hyperlinked those as well. And I've even done a screenshot of the menu. Okay, what am I going to find in each part of the menu? What information there? So that's what I mean by mapping it out. Now, so you can map out whatever information you want. I did that then. I don't feel like I need that now, but at the time it was so helpful to me. The second step is about gathering, and so that just means gathering everything I can find. I've just realized there's a big typo at the heading of achievement standards. So I gather all the information I can find for whatever aspect I'm looking for. So it might be about one of the standards or significant learning or whatever, and just dump it. And then I do my next part, and that is reorganizing and editing. I am a visual person, even though I'm an English teacher. I don't like to read lots of words. Well, I don't like to see lots of words on the page without pictures. I like infographics and things. So a classic example of reformatting, our significant learning document, or our matrix rather. So I guess this is kind of mapping as well. So I created pictures to show the big ideas, and then around it I put the significant learning, and that just makes more sense to me. So you have to do what makes sense to you. In terms of the curriculum levels for how that significant learning is shown, it used to be in quite a helpful table, but now it's sort of lumped all together, and I couldn't cope with not seeing the progressions between level 6, 7 and 8. So I retabled it, and I've put keywords down the side here so I know what each thing is about. And then talking about editing as well, I put the changes between each level, the next stage, in bold. So that's what I mean by editing, and I can do things like that. I'll talk more about editing later. Another thing that I did in terms of formatting, so here's an example of what I did for the standards. So I just stood up this standard table, and then I just fill in the information from each of the web pages. So you can't just print it as it is at the moment, because it's all on different web pages, right? Same website, different web pages. Okay, some of it's on a different website, but so here I'm just putting it all together, so collating it. As I go, I find things that are repetitive or a bit elaborate, and so I will take them out. So for example, what was one of the things I actually wrote it down because I knew I would forget? So I take away the verbosity and the touchy-feelies that I'm not going to use on a daily basis. And so for example, in the information about 1.3 Writing Achievement Standard, notes about the submission of poetry appear in both specifications and the unpacking. I don't need them in both places, so I can just take that out. Okay, so that's something about editing. So again, I don't know if you can see, I've got hyperlinks to the standard there, hyperlinks to exemplars, and so on. And I make little notes to myself along the way as well. Another thing I do with the editing is shuffling information around. So for example, is it in the unpacking? I think it is. For each standard, it tells you what from the matrix, the significant learning, the matrix, the curriculum levels, what that standard relates to from there. So instead of having that information in the standard, I just made a note. So that's, I don't know if you can see pink writing here, for each, to show which of these curriculum aspects that standard relates to. So for this one it says focused on and achievement standards 1.2 and 1.4. So then I've got all of that stuff all in one place. So it's just, as I say, do the mapping out first. You can do it on paper if you want to, but again, you won't have hyperlinks. So map out, okay, what do we got? What do we got? What are all the documents? Map it out. Then gather up the information that you need for each part, and then reformat and edit it to suit you better, so you have better at-a-glance information, more appealing. It'll be more appealing to you, be more useful. What I suggest is that you can maybe do this as a touchy-feely, bondy, open up the biscuit tin department thing, where so one person does the matrix, one person looks at 1.1, one person looks at 1.2, and then you have these cool subject experts or area experts, which I think might be nice in the department, and you know, build that teamwork as well. You can do it yourself if you just want to get into it. So yep, it's a bit time consuming, but honestly, you get to know things so well. You get to know your way around things, and you get to know all the information that you need. So it's absolutely the best thing to do. So click the links down below. I'll have a template there for you, and you can fill in your own bits and bobs. If you want to contact me about my version, go for it. Flick me an email, that's on my website, and just enjoy the teamwork, enjoy getting to know the stuff, and you'll have your summer back, you'll feel confident, and you'll just know what you need to know. Enjoy.